What's up, guys? It's your favorite Kiwicoach. Today we're gonna be talking about the 6 ways the wrists move. Let's go do this thing. Alright guys, so before we get into the terminology, let's go over the main reason why wrist conditions are so important. The main reason being is that it controls where the club face is pointing throughout the golf swing. Now, we know ball flight laws that we need to get our face relative to the path in certain positions so we can have the right amount of curvature or the correct type of curvature for our intended shot, correct? So now that we kind of understand that, let's start going into the terminology, and then we'll start going into some other reasons as well. All right guys, so for the first terminology that we're gonna talk about is the radial hinge in the golf swing, okay? So radial hinge, simply put, is just the wrist working in an upward hinge like such, all right? Now, radial hinge comes into play in the takeaway. It also comes into play slightly on the downswing as well. Let me kind of show you what I mean real quick. So in the takeaway, there is a little bit of radial hinge in both wrists, and on the downswing, the radial hinge increases a little bit as well, like quote-unquote lag, correct? Now, the second terminology we're going to talk about is ulnar, all right? So ulnar comes into play more so on the downswing. Once the hands are level to hips, that's when you're going to start seeing ulnar, okay? We're not going to want to have ulnar in the takeaway. We're definitely not going to want to have it in transition. Possibly with driver is a good feel for some of you guys, but if we're going to be ultra specific, once the hands get level to hips, then we're going to start seeing the ulnar start coming into play, and that helps us control low point, where we're hitting the ground. The next wrist condition is going to be flexion of the lead wrist. So you typically see this one more so in transition. As they're going into that pronation feel, they're also going into that flexion feel. It's going to look like this. That's what you see a lot of the good professionals do. Now, towards impact, you also see a little bit of flexion, or you can think about it as bowing that wrist. That helps you get a little bit of shaft lean and de-lock the golf club. Now, the last one is going to be extension. You typically don't see lead wrist extension unless the player has possibly a really strong grip like such. You might see some extension to counteract that with the better players. If you want to hit a really high shot, having extension in transition will really open up that club face. But again, typically you don't see in the better players having a lot of that extension unless they're trying to hit the golf ball high. I do see that a lot in amateurs. That's why we typically recommend a little bit more of a flatter lead wrist, or possibly even going into flexion. So anyways, those are the 6 ways the wrist can move. Again, as you can see, moving the wrist in certain ways controls what this club face is doing in terms of where it's going to be pointing, / where it's going to be bottoming out in terms on the ground. So again, these 6 wrist conditions and fully understanding them and how you can utilize them in your golf swings are very important to become a better golfer and control your golf ball. Alright guys, I hope you liked that video. Smash that like button, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing. Subscribe if you feel like I'm giving you guys value. And as always, hope you guys have a good day and look forward to the next video.